Good morning, students. Let us start a new topic in the same chapter, that is squares and square roots. Properties of square numbers. Following table shows the squares of numbers from 1 to 20. Observe the square numbers written in the second column. Observe the units place of each square number. We see that square numbers are ending with 1, 4, 9, 6, 5, again 6, 9, 4, 1, 0. Similarly in this one, 1, 4, 9, 6, 5, 6, 9, 4, 1, 0. So we see that all the square numbers in the table end with 0, 1, 4, 5, 6 or 9 at units place. So children, here is a question. If a number ends with 0, 1, 4, 5, 6 or 9 at units place, then that number will be a square number or not. Let's check. Here is a question. We have been given few numbers and out of these we have to decide by looking at the ones digit that they are not square numbers. So the first number is not a square number as 7 is appearing at units place. So this will not be a square number. Taking the second number, 3 is appearing at units place. Then again it will not be a square number. Similarly, third and fourth will not be a square number as there is no digit 2 and 8 in this list. What about fifth and sixth number? In fifth one, 9 is appearing at units place. So can we say that it is a square number or a perfect square? Or sixth one, 1 is appearing at units place. So can we say that it will be a perfect square or square number? Children, please note, by just looking for digits 0, 1, 4, 5, 6 or 9 at units place, we cannot decide whether the number is perfect square or not. For example, 2061, 1 is appearing at units place. 2061 ends with 1 at units place, but it is not a square number. Taking the next property, when a square number ends in 1, the number whose square it is will have either 1 or 9 in units place. For example, 81 is a square of 9. The square number is ending with 1. Then the number whose square it is a square of 9. So 9 ends with the digit 9, that is at units place the digit which is appearing is 9. Similarly, 361 is a square of 19. 361 is a square number and it is ending with digit 1 and it is the square of 19, and in 19 9 is appearing at units place. If I take 121, 121 is a square number and 1 is appearing at units place and it is a square of 11, and in 11 there is 1 at units place. This means that when a square number ends in 1, the number whose square it is will have either 1 or 9 in units place. For this, let us do one question. Which of would end with 1? Which of would with end with digit 1? We have to do squares of these numbers, and to know the square number which will end with digit 1, we do not require the whole calculation. Just using this property we can decide which number whose square number will end with digit 1. So if I square the first number, that is 123, its square number will not end with digit 1. Similarly, 77 squared will not end with digit 1. Similarly, 82 squared, its square number will not end with digit 1. If I do the square of 161 and 109, then obviously their square numbers will end with digit 1. Hope this property is useful for solving this particular question. Now taking the next property, when a square number ends in 6, the number whose square it is will have either 4 or 6 in units place. Means if 196 is a square number and 6 is appearing at units place, and it is a square of 14, and in 14 units place is 4. Similarly, 676 is a square of 26. 676 is a square number and it ends with 6. Then 26 is the number whose square is 676, and in 26 the unit digit is 6. So we can say that when a square number ends in 6, the number whose square it is will have either 4 or 6 in its units place. For this, let us do question number 3. Which of the following numbers would have digit 6 at units place? Means which of the following numbers, when we squared, the square number which we obtain will have 6 at units place. We have to check. So if I do the square of 19, obviously I will not get a square number which will have 6 at its units place. We can use this property which we just learnt now. We have to use this property. If a square number is ending with 6, then it will have a number, or it is a square of that number which will end with 4 or 6. So square of 19 will not have 6 at units place. Square of 24, yes, it will end with digit 6. Similarly, 26 squared, it will also end with digit 6. 36 squared, the square number obtained after squaring 36 will end with digit 6. 34 squared, after squaring 34, the number which we will obtain will end with 6. Now let us take another properties. Square of even numbers. Let us look the square when a even number is squared, what we obtain. So these are the squares of even numbers. So by looking at the square numbers, we can state that square of even numbers is even. Similarly, squares of odd numbers, when looking at these square numbers, we see that square of odd number is odd, means 3 is odd number, and square of 3 is 9, which is also a odd number, which is also an odd number. Taking the last property, observe the square numbers of the following numbers. When we square 10, we get 100. When we square 20, we get 400. Observe the number of zeros in the number and the square number. So if a number is having 1 0, then the square number is having 2 zeros, means it is exactly twice of the number. Means if a number there are 1 0 and in square number you are getting 2 zeros. Similarly, when we squared 100, we get 10,000. Means how many zeros are there in the number? There are 2 zeros, and in the square number there are 4 zeros. It is again exactly twice. It means that square numbers can only have even number of zeros at the end. These are square numbers, and all the square numbers are having even number of zeros at the end. So suppose if I do a square of 1000, how many zeros will be there in the square number? There will be exactly 2 times, that is 6 zeros in the square number. Now let us take question number 4. The square of which of the following numbers would be an odd number or an even number? So we know that square of even number is even, square of odd number is odd. So 727 is an odd number, so it will have odd square number. 158 is an even number, the square of 158 will be an even number. 269 is an odd number, so square of 269 will be an odd number. Similarly, this will have square of this number will have an even number. What will be the number of zeros in the square of the following numbers? So we need to find the number of zeros. So we know that a square number can have only even numbers of zeros. Means if there is 1 0, then it will have 2 zeros in the square number. So square of 60 will have 2 zeros in the square number. What about 400? When we squared 400, it will have 4 zeros. So children, this is all for today. Hope you understood the topic well. Thank you.